but in spiritual formation of the community, alongside also socio-economic empowerment. We are celebrating a diocese that is also moving to develop self-sustainability programs. Your Excellency, one of the projects we were praying for is an ACK Plaza owned by Eldoret Diocese and Kapsabet in the middle of Eldoret town, a building that is coming up on a whole acre of land. It is now 5 stories building tall. The ground floor and the underground and the car parking is complete. We commissioned that complete spaces. We also are able to bless Bishop Mig Pioneer Estate in Kimalel and other churches that we opened afresh. This is to propel the church to be self-sustaining in mission, but we are also imagining, and this is our great imagination, that the church in the West is diminishing. And soon, the West will need missionaries from Africa. And we are preparing ourselves to be the next missionary sending continent with our own resources grown locally so that we are able to do that. And Your Excellency, is not a joke. We have now 2 missionaries in Madagascar from Kenya. We have sent some by the Diocese of Mount Kenya South in DRC. And we have our first bishop in New Zealand, Bishop Maina, who is our missionary and now a bishop in New Zealand. So it's not a joke. It is it's becoming a reality. So we are celebrating milestones of the Diocese of Eldoret. Bishop Christopher, you are now steering the great development agenda. And when I worked with you these few days, I said the diocese is now ready for an explosion. Because I can see it from how parishes are organized. I was in Kapsabet last month for 5 days. And I was also seeing an explosion in Kapsabet. We opened 8 new churches, big ones, in the rural communities. There was a moment when I was welcomed by 862 lay readers, all robbed in Kapsabet. I did not imagine that is the number the church has mobilized. When I was in Bere, I commissioned 1,672 children brigade and girls and boys brigade. It is imaginable to see those big crowds that the church is able to nurture with these very words of the Shema. The Lord our God is one. Love your God with all your soul, with all your might, with all your capacity. Today, as we stand on the threshold of celebrating 40 years of the Diocese of Eldoret existence, we find ourselves in a field of faith. Cultivating the seeds of God's word, our journey is akin to that of a farmer. And I know this is a farming community. Sowing the seeds of the Shema, love your God with all your soul, all your might, all what you are. Tilling the soil of our hearts and nurturing the growth of our spirituality. Just as a farmer carefully selects the best seeds for a bountiful harvest, we have chosen the Shema as a foundation of our faith, for it is the purest and most fruitful seed. If we sow this seed, then we all love one another, then we shall have a loving community, a loving nation, a nation that will stand on the threshold of brotherhood and not divisions. In the words of Henry David Thoreau, he said this: "Though I do not believe that a plant will spring up where no seed has been, I have great faith in a seed. Convince me that you have a seed there, and I am prepared to expect wonders." Your Excellency, we want to plant that seed in this nation. The seed of love, the seed of unity, the seed of diversity that embraces each other. If we all plant this seed, we shall thrive as a people and as a community. Deuteronomy chapter 8 serves as a plow turning over the soil of our souls to refill both fertile ground and rocky patches. You know, in every field there is a fertile part and a rocky part. That is the reality of our situation. Just as a farmer must address the challenges of the land, we must also confront our own spiritual obstacles, such as hatred, because they cannot coexist with love, jealousy, and things that divide us, for they cannot coexist with love. But as Proverbs chapter 20, verse 4 reminds us, the sluggard who does not plow in the autumn, he will seek at harvest and have nothing. We plow now, for our spiritual harvest depends on the efforts we put into the soil of our hearts. So as we celebrate 40 years, that time is now behind us. We must begin to imagine the next 40 years. And the seed we plant today will say what we shall become tomorrow. The seed we put on the ground today will say what church will we have tomorrow. The story of the Diocese of Eldoret is like a farmstead, a place where diligent hands have toiled tirelessly to bring forth a bountiful crop of faith. Just as a farmer labors is never done, our mission to love and to serve God continues, and that's what will guarantee a harvest. Not just in our time, but a harvest in generations to come, that the Lord will still find his church alive. As we look forward for the next 40 years, let us heed the words of Victor Hughes, he said, whoever opens a school or school door closes the prison doors. Whoever opens the school doors closes the prison doors. We are like educators, planting the seed of knowledge and faith in the minds of our young people so that they will never be imprisoned by ignorance, doubt, or poverty. For education empowers. When we put our mind in educating in the church and in the community, inculcating the right values, we shall have a better society tomorrow. In closing, let us remember the wisdom of the Chinese proverb. When you drink from the stream, remember the spring. Remember the spring we have sipped from. And our stream is we have sipped from the spring of God's blessings for the last 40 years. We must never forget the divine spring for which it flows. Lastly, as we carry our hearts to God, let us also remember the words of C.S. Lewis. This is one of the best Christian apologetic